Okay. Sorry. All right. Again, it's security issues for sure, because you didn't allow that person to get in. But privacy, I say maybe, because it's like this. If this person, the owner of this computer, publicly say, hey, I'm gay, I'm homosexual, it's fine, right? The owner of this computer, if he or she publicly announced that I am a homosexual, so bad guy find out I am a homosexual, then so what? It doesn't matter. I publicly say I am. But if the owner of this computer say, this is personal thing, I share it with no one, nobody knows this piece of information, then it become privacy issues. So in a sense, we can say that privacy depends on something that we call intent, like this. You share this information to whom and for what? If you share it publicly, fine. But if you share the information, share personal information for a specific intention, specific purpose, now we have another issues. In a sense, intent, in a sense. Okay, this is maybe a little difficult to understand, but it's like this. Every day, we share our personal information in exchange for services. So my intention is that I share something in exchange for better services. For example, my cell phone, my mobile phone. You may not know, but let me give you this piece of information. Your phone, even though it's black screen like this, it has to report itself to the cell site. Report itself to the network, basically. Why? Because if someone want to call you, so the provider know that, oh, you connect to this network from this cell site, so it call you back. So you give up your location all the time to the phone company in exchange for phone service. And when you sign up for the phone service, basically you say you would give up the location in exchange for services, and the phone company say they will use that information to provide the phone call service only. So they cannot use that information for something else. That's one example. Or you give up the location in exchange for Google navigation service. So every day we give up personal information in exchange for something. And that's something that we call consent, or basically intent, the same thing. I give up personal information, so you provide me some services. Same thing. Let's say you go to see a doctor, physician, doctor. So the doctor may ask you that, oh, you just have sex with someone, or you are a homosexual or not. you usually give up that information to the doctor in exchange for the treatments, right? I didn't see that in Thailand, but in like when I was in United States, I have to sign something before I meet the doctor. And that document says something like, I will share everything with the doctor. And the doctor can only use that information to treat me in exchange for the treatment. If the doctor do something else, like the doctor post to social network, say, hey, this guy is gay. Now the doctor violate your privacy. You can sue the doctor for that. But as long as the doctor keep that information just for the treatment, fine. Same thing, you use the phone service. You use the phone service. The phone company say, we will only use this information to provide you the communication services. If somehow the phone company sell your information to, let's say, insurance company, now you can sue the phone company. So in Thailand, the regulations say the phone company can only use your personal information to improve services like that. So we have a case in Thailand that somebody got a plane crash in urban area and we cannot find that person. It would take at least 1 or 2 days to get a permission from the court to find where is the location of that person's phone. So we can recover him or her later. But it needs something from the court to get that information. Okay. Anyway, what I'm saying here is that privacy and security is two different things. One thing in common is the control. But for privacy, a little thing special about it is depend on the intention of the owner. So if you are willing to share your personal information, that's fine. Or you will share your information in exchange for something, then you must explicitly say. So now Thailand has something like this PDPA, the Personal Privacy Act. Or in European country, you may have heard of this GDPR, basically the Privacy Act in European country. It simply say when you have to give the information and what can the organization do with your personal information. If none of them is stated, then you have to write it down yourself. You have to explicitly say that. So why did I say something about privacy? Because you are now an IT person. One day you would have to take information from your users. So the solution is like this. You ask for something, you ask your user for something, which might be personal information. If you ask for personal information, you have to say why. Or you may have heard of the policy, privacy policy. Why do I need that information? What for? When you ask for personal information, you have to say in your privacy policy, why do you need that information? You will use it for what? And person should be allowed to say yes or no. Okay. So you have to learn about this. If you have to one day create a website or do whatever you ask for personal information. Believe it or not, something simple as birthday, also personal information. gender, male, female, or whatever, also a personal information. So if you ask for those kind of information, you have to say why. Religions, also a personal information. Okay. Why? Because it can be used for segregation. Oh no, you are not Christian, then no. You are Muslim, then no, something like that. All right. So be careful when you have to create a system and ask for personal information. You have to study about laws or what you can do. If you really need that kind of information, then say it in your policy. Why? My suggestion would be if you don't need it, then don't ask for it. Do you need to know whether a person is a male or female or what is the birthday so that you can give better services? If yes, then say it. If no, forget it. All right? Okay. This is about privacy. Mhm. Now I have this question. I would assume that everybody use Google. You got a Gmail, right? Anybody without Gmail? Maybe not. Or you got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, right? Mhm. Okay. Anybody read Google privacy policy before you sign up? Did you? Well, for some reason, I have been teaching this class maybe like almost 10 years. Oh, longer than that, anyway. But every time I ask students, nobody ever read Google privacy. It's just me that read the Google privacy. And I wonder why. But anyway, oh, by the way, now they got the Thai version or in foreign language version. Anyway, but back then they got only English. Right? I take this from Google privacy policy statement. It says something like this, but anyway, the keyword is the underlying. Google may collect, analyze whatever the information that you happen to be your information, but in Google, Gmail, your photo, your files, whatever. So that Google can improve services. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? Well, technically speaking, you upload your photos, your files to Google Drive. Google can see it, right? Because Google may see, oh, you got a lot of PDF files, so we will improve the PDF viewer. Oh, you like certain kind of music. Maybe we provide this kind of music for you as a suggestion, right? So what I'm trying to say is that once you upload it to public services on Google or Facebook, it's public. It's no longer yours. Google explicitly say that. You are aware of that or not? Similar thing for Facebook, or Twitters, and others. Once you say it out, once you post it, it's no longer yours. And they can do whatever. Because they say, oh, by looking at your personal information, I can improve my service. So I will do it. Okay? So think twice before you put something in your Google Drive. Make sure that it will not get back to you like that. All right, that's enough with the privacy things. And oh, this is about Facebook. Similar things anyway. Whenever you type something on Facebook, even though you delete it, it's still there. Facebook got it already. So if you say bad word about a person on Facebook, Facebook record that. Okay. Enough with privacy. You got the idea? So move back to the focus of our class. Security. All right. Before we start with security component, let me ask you this question. If you want to claim that your computer, your iPad, your mobile phone, whatever, you want to claim that this is a secure system, for example. You want to claim that your computer is a secure computer. What do you have or what have you done to your computer? So you can say that you have a secure computer. What does it mean to say we have a secure system? Just keep it in my pocket. Nobody can see it. So it's secure, right? Maybe not. So again, we want to answer, what does it mean to be secure? What do we need so that we can say we have a secure system? So let's take a look at this example. You know it? The automatic teller machine, or they may call it differently in some countries. Anyway, I call it money machine for short. Okay. This money machine, what's so special about it so that you feel comfortable to get the money from this machine? Okay, think about it a little bit. What do you have to do so that you can get money from this machine? Yeah, insert the card and type the PIN number. Now what? Magically, it will give me the money, right? Okay. So in a sense, if you think about it a little bit, this money machine know you. They try to identify the person that use it with a combination of the card and the PIN number. Or in Thailand now we have new kind of service, not so new, like a few years ago, that you can just use your phone number and the special PIN number to withdraw the money. You type something in your banking application and it gives you the PIN number to withdraw the money from the machine without using the card. Right? So combination of phone number and PIN number. Okay. So it know you who. Once the machine know who are you, then the machines got some kind of control, like, oh, how many dollars or bahts or whatever that you can withdraw from the machine. what kind of transaction that you can do. So it can control you in a sense, right? So that, yeah, right? It can control you. And what else do we have with this money machine? See something? What do we have about this machine? So it knows you, it can control you. What else? It got some kind of what? Security camera, maybe? Usually over here. Right? It got security camera, so it know you, know your face, can see you, can see your face, see when did you come in, what have you done. So they got some kind of log, transaction logs, or sometimes people call it audit log, some kind of auditing mechanism. We can associate the face, the transaction with the video footage like that. Okay, what else? Okay, I'll let you think about it. Let's move on to the next example and I come back to this. Oh, this is just for fun. Actually, the window is not activated. And when I prepare my slide a few years ago, I looked for free pictures and I came across these pictures. And just put it in for fun because this girl, this person, she hold Guinness World Record for the fastest person that can withdraw money from the money machine. And I kind of, what? We got this kind of record? And just put it in anyway. All right. So it knows you. It can control you. It's got some kind of auditing mechanism. Okay. Let's see another example. Well, we call it safe box. And actually, the formal term for it is security deposit box. Ever heard of it? Anybody got experience, went to a safe box service from a bank or something like that? Have you ever? No? Okay. Anyway, it's a combination of several things anyway. Let me quickly share with you how does it work. Okay. Well, every bank, they got something that they call, the word is strong room. Okay, let me quickly Google for pictures. Strong room like this. So what is strong room? What is strong room? Well, strong room is a special room located in a bank building. And from the specification, this strong room can sustain fire and even bomb. So I see a case that I cannot remember, but there was a war in some country, and the building was completely destroyed, but the strong room is still there. So this strong room is pretty strong, sustain nuclear bombs, something like that. Very special room located in the bank facility. And when you go to the bank, this is one example picture, it's pretty strong. Okay. And when you go to the bank and you say you want to lend a safe box, usually this safe box would locate in that strong room. And from specification, a strong room have to be they got something like 6-inch wall and strong ceiling, strong floor, whatever. Difficult to get in, difficult to break in. And sustain fire, 6 hours of fire, something like that. So you want to rent a safe box from a bank. The bank would give you, and depend on how much you pay, they give you some small drawer in this box. To open this box, we need two keys. Two keys. You got one key. The bank officer got another key. Basically, two keys have to be turned at the same time, so you can open your box like that. It's more than that. Whenever you want to get in, sometimes you have to show your IDs. Sometimes you have to press the fingerprint to identify yourself before you can get in. Once you get in, you only got one key to open your box, and they got really, how to say, secure room that you can organize the box yourself. So I'm not sure about your parents, but back in my day, my parents would say, if you have something precious or important, store it in a safe box. Go to the bank and put it in. Okay. Question is, what's so special about this security deposit box that most people say, if you got something important, something precious, put it there, not at home? Again, compare that to the money machine. Do we have something in common? Any idea? Okay. Again, to get into your box, you have to identify yourself to the bank. So let's say the bank know who want to get in, right? Once you get in, only specific box that you can open. Again, it can control you. What can you do with which box? What else? Well, it's usually located in the bank facilities. So it got security guard, got some kind of video monitoring, right? The formal term is closed circuits, CCTV, closed circuit television. Okay. So again, it got some kind of auditing mechanisms. When did you get in? What did you do? What else? Well, one thing that most people miss from this is that this is pretty strong, and it usually located in strong room, which I just told you. So this is pretty strong facilities, difficult to break in. Okay, get back to our money machine. Do we have something in common here? Right? The money machine know Who are you? It can control you. It got some kind of auditing. And it also pretty strong, right? You cannot just walk to the money machine and, I don't know, punch in the wall and then take the money out from the machine. No, not that easy, right? Usually this is strong metal case, difficult to break in. See something common here about examples of these two pretty secure things here. Okay, let's try another one. How about your home or your apartment or whatever? Do you think your home or your bedroom, your apartment is a secure place to be? Should be, right? Or else you would not happily go home and have a good night's sleep every day. What do you have over there so that you say this is my secure place? What do we have? How do you get in to your home, to your apartment? Usually keys, right? Do we know somebody tried to get in and when? Or can we control who can get in? Can the person just break in? Not that easy, right? So it got similar things, right? It can control who can get in, right? And how about auditing? Do you have auditing mechanism at home? Do you? Maybe. Well, if you live in apartment or condominiums or whatever you want to call, sometimes they got security camera installed. Or it can be as simple as you got a dog at home, right? That will make noise when stranger got in, right? And we also got pretty strong wall. Not that somebody can just punch the wall and got into your place. No, see something in common, right? So to construct or to create a secure system, we need something like this. We need some mechanism to identify the person. We need some kind of mechanisms to control the action that that person can do. We need something to monitor the actions. We need pretty strong wall so that people can only do what they are asked to do, not just break the wall and do something else. Right? Okay. How about your computer? You think your computer secure? Can anybody get in? No, just you. Okay. Once you get in, what can you do? Everything? Or no? You have to explicitly program something, ask to do something, or not? Do your computer keep a record of when or what have you done to the system? Again, this is something that we need to create a secure system. So let's try to formalize a little bit. Try to understand that what actually do we need so that we can create secure system. Okay. Terminologies. To say we have a secure system, number one, your system must be able to do authentication. Your system must be able to identify who is the person, who is the users that want to get in, right? So that's the first A, authentication. Who? Once we know who, your system must be able to say yes or no to the action that the user want to perform. So you must be able to say yes or no. And the formal term, we call it authorization. It's like you ask, may I delete this document? Yes or no? Right? May I do this or that? And the system say yes or no. I want to get the money, yes or no? How much can I do? That's the second thing. And the next thing is accounting, or the synonym of it, auditing. When did you get in? What have you done? We need some kind of trails for monitoring. It's like, oh, this file is missing. Who got in? Who deleted it? If you cannot do that, no, we don't have security. Right? So auditing can be anything like simple as logs, transaction logs. It can be something like video, security cameras, anything. Just to keep record of what things that happen in your system, like that. So again, people call it the AAA of securities: authentication, authorization, and auditing. Quick question is, again, look at your computer system, or look at your home, or look at things around you. Do we have this AAA? Do we know who get into this class? Once that person get in, can we control what they can do in the class? In some class, we even have security camera installed, but not this room, right? This classroom has no security cameras. And sometimes we also got security camera in the hallway when you walk, and we see who walk in. Okay, so we need the AAA. Question is, if we miss one component, do we still have security? Let's say I don't have auditing. Can I say I have security in my system? Maybe. Anyway, if you miss one component, you may not have security. But again, even though you got the three components, it doesn't mean you have security. Right? You miss one, you have no security. But even though you got three, you may not have security anyway. Why did I say that? Because it depends on how strong is your component. Let's try authentication then. Authentication. Let's say I want to know who are you. So I ask for your student ID. And I take a look at the student ID. I see the pictures. I compare it to your face. And I say, oh, okay, this is you. But wait, is this the real student ID? Or it's a fake document? So in a sense, I got authentication, right? I want to verify who are you. I check your student ID against you, the face, but it can be a fake document. So you just break authentication. Or, okay, another example then. Authentication, most common authentication method, we would do username and password. Can you break username and password? Yes, right? It can be something simple like I put gun in your head and say, give me your username and password, or die. And you give up username and password for me. Now we just break the system. Right? Again, we need the AAA for security. But even though we got the AAA, something can break and our security may be compromised. So if you think about it a little bit, when we study security, we get around this AAA and we try to make it stronger. We try to make it difficult to bypass. Okay, let me give you another example. Let's say this classroom is a secure classroom, for example. That means if you want to get in, I will check for your student ID. Try to authenticate who can get into this class. Once you got in, I specifically say, where can you sit? What can you do in the class? What kind of action that you can do in the class? I even install security cameras to monitor your action in the class. So technically speaking, this is a secure classroom. We got all three components, right? What if this classroom got no wall or no windows at all? It's just area with desks and chairs. Is it still a secure classroom? No. Why? Because I want to check the card, but wait, you can get in from any direction without passing through my security check. So we don't have secure classroom. So that's why I say this security deposit box, it will not be a security deposit box if it has no strong metal box and no strong loom, or if this is paper wall. People can just punch the paper wall and get the money, right? So what should we call this strong wall things? Well, the formal term, I think in another slide anyway, the formal term is integrity. So if you ask me, what do we need for securities? I would say the AAA plus integrity. What is integrity again?
The correctness.
The correctness? Not really. Anyway, integrity in a sense means that you keep it in the original condition. Nobody can change it. So that means integrity of this loom is a strong wall that make it a loom. So most security book would say we need a AAA. But if you ask me, I say, well, we need more than that. Maybe the integrity should be mentioned. Okay, just a little bit about the AAA. Well, just for fun, actually. MIT MIT got a little project that they call Kevlar, which is a security project. Mm-hmm. You know the term, right? Kevlar. Mm-hmm. Oh, if you speak Greek, which I'm not, they call it Cerberus, if my pronunciation is correct. Mm-hmm. So what is Kevlar or Cerberus? It's from the story, it's three-headed dog. Right? So again, several years ago, MIT got a security project, and they named the product Kevlar. Basically, say security got three components, and they would implement one, which is authentication. So Kevlar in sense is the password system developed by MIT, centralized password system. So when I have to give a lecture to high school students, sometimes I would say, okay, if you want to remember the AAA, think about this. We got three-headed dog. And one head would be authentication, one head would be authorization, one head would be auditing, which one is which, just I don't know. Okay. So again, do we have the AAA so that we can say we have securities? Even though we have the AAA, I say we need strong wall, which is integrity. Well, most security book would stop here and say we need the AAA and plus integrity, or sometimes they try to make integrity the fourth A, which is, if my memory serves, the synonym of integrity is authenticity. Authenticity, like this. So some book nowadays, some security book would say, okay, security is 4A, right? So they got authentication, authorization, auditing, and authenticity. But some book would say it's AAA plus 1I, integrity. So anyway, just general idea. But most security books stop here and say, this is all you need to make a secure system. But modern security say, no, that's not enough. If you want security, we have to do more than that. Okay, let me give you this. Again, example, this class. Say this is secure classroom. I do authentication, who can get in. You have to show your student IDs, identify yourself. I control what you can do in the class with security camera install, and even got a strong wall. So you can only pass to my security check gate. Yeah. Good. AAA plus 1I. We got everything. Now you decide to do something bad. So you carry bomb into the class. Possible, right? You carry bomb into the class. But wait, I got the 3A and 9. But now I don't have security. Right? Same thing in the past. You buy your plane ticket. You show your passport. So technically speaking, you identify yourself. We got the first A. You can get to the plane. We got the second A. We even got security camera. When did you get in? What have you done? We got very strong wall. Good. But that person decided to carry bomb into the plane and do the suicide bombing to the plane. Right? So all their security, say nothing about the data that you carry in and out from the system. Modern security would say, no, 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 we have to do something with the data, with the input. In physical world, we have to check your bag. What did you bring in? Okay, so we need AAA, one eye, and the second eye is input validation. It depends on how you want to call it, but that's the general idea. And well, to get it right, you have to do the data validation or input validation before you get in. Like if a person carry bomb in his bag and walk to the airport, if you check the bag inside the airport, that means they can bomb the airport, right? So the correct way to do it, check the bag before that person get in. So some airport would try to scan your luggage, scan your bag before you get into the airport. Because once you get in, nah, we cannot fix anything. Okay, let me quickly share you this story. A few years ago, I have to help with the government. They want to re-implement the immigration system in Thailand. This is like almost 10 years ago. They want to redesign the immigration system, re-implement security of the immigration system in Thailand. So I went to few meetings with them. I didn't do the real implementation, just consult them what to do. Anyway, the officers and they got the idea that, oh, this is a real thing in Singapore, in the country, the Singapore. When you pass the border from Malaysia to Singapore, which you can just cross the bridge and get to Singapore, all cars, all trucks have to go to the underground, the underground of the building to do security check of the car. And that's the bad design. Why? Because if bad guy carry bomb in the truck would get to the underground of the building, and so they can easily bomb the building. Just get through the security checks and bomb. Done. Anyway, I told this story to the government officer and said, if you want to scan the things, scan the luggage, scan the bags, you have to do it before you get in, not inside. And you may see some airport in Thailand, like well, in Chiang Mai, they do that before you get into the building. Not for Don Mueang, the Don Mueang airport, they once you have to get in and they quickly do the luggage check before you check into the plane. Because they have no place that you can install the X-ray machine outside like that. But anyway, that's the general idea. So again, get back to you. You want to say that you have a secure computer? Do you have all of this? You want to say that your home, your house, the apartment is a secure place to be? Do you have all this? Missing one, you don't have security. Having them all, you may have security because it depends how strong is your component, right? Authentication, somebody can just make fake document or guess your username password. So that doesn't help. Okay. All right. Just to summarize this part, we need the AAA and two supporting concept, which is integrity and input validation. Missing one, no security. Having them all may have security. Okay, I give you 15 minutes break before we come back and take a look at the first aid authentication. So don't be late. We will have activity at the end of the class. All right. Okay, let's have a break for now.
จัดได้อย่างมากเว้ยเดี๋ยวเปิดเรื่องคือชั่วโมงกันไม่ใช่แบบนี้ไม่ยิ่งลงไปยังไม่เก็บก็ต้องได้
Okay, let's continue our class. So we have activity about password securities, but we also got some lectures about password, about authentication before we do that. So what I'm trying to do here is that I try to finish a lecture within 40 to 50 minutes, and we have few minutes to talk about the activity, so that we can jumpstart the activity before you take it as an assignment, and to finish it and submit it later. Okay, all right. Let's continue our lectures. So before the break, we talk about security components. We say we need the AAA, the 2I. Now we move our focus to the first A, authentication. So what is authentication then? In a sense, authentication is process that somehow can verify identity of a person. Oops. What's wrong? Okay, back. But this is only true when we use authentication with a person. But in fact, we can also use authentication with anything. Like if you use authentication with an email, in a sense, that means this email is coming from the person that it claimed to be. You use it with a network packet, meaning it's coming from the source and destination that is specified. Or you can even use the word authentication with a document, which basically means this is the original document, not a fake document. So in a sense, authentication means validate or verify identity, verify the authenticity in a sense. Okay, so for us, this is security class, computer security class. So we try to use the word authentication with person in general. So how can you authenticate something then? I say I want to authenticate a person. What does it mean? How to authenticate a person? Well, to authenticate something, you need to validate quality or some kind of properties. Like, I want to know who. Maybe I compare your pictures with your picture in the ID card. Or the real you would got a scar in the face. Okay, I look at the scar on your face and say, okay, this is you, for example. So what we are saying here is that to perform real authentication, we need some kind of property to help with. This is an example of authentication. You want to authenticate a document? How? You want to authenticate a person? How? You want to authenticate the ownership? How? Well, you may have an idea to authenticate ownership. Sometimes we use key. This is my car, so I got a key. This is my house, so I got a key to my house, like that. But the challenge is now we have a computer system. We have portable device. What is the best way to perform authentication? That would turn out to be maybe 3 ways to do it. First one, we authenticate with something that you, the real you, know. For example, username and password. You should be the only person that knows username and password. Authenticate with something that only you know. Simple, right? Number 2, let's try something that only you have. If it's you, then you have this. It can be something like student ID, some kind of official document. If it's you, then you must have passport with your name on it, with your picture on it. Or it can be something that we both trust. Let's say I don't know you as a person, but all your colleagues, all your friends say, Professor, this is my friend. I met him for years. He was in the class. He always in the class. I say, okay, I trust you all. So I trust who is this person. And again, none of them is perfect. They got strength and weakness and so on. So let's start with something simple. What do you know? What do you know? It can be something simple as password or passphrase. Or can be something like pre-arranged questions. For example, let's say I meet you outside this class and I say, to say that we are in the same class, I would ask you certain questions and you must provide me with specific answer. That's where you say we both know the same things. It's pre-arranged question. Or it can be something like one-time pad. Like I say, you want to submit something to my system. I write a one-time password in a pad and send that notepad to you. You say to submit the assignment, use this. It's good for one time. In a sense, it's the most secure kind of password because it can only use once, one-time pad. Or it can be knowledge, challenge and response. What is challenge and response then? Challenge and response mean the password is the way that you answer it. How? It can be knowledge. Like if I say something, I give you a random number. Let's say n. What you have to do is that you have to power through and plus 5, for example. That's the password. Okay, let me give you a specific example. Maybe you understand what I mean. Okay, let's say you got a car. Modern car would got this kind of small remote that where you place the button and you can unlock the car like that. Or if you use modern car like Tesla, something. If I don't have a Tesla car, so I don't know, but from my experience with my friend who got Tesla, you can use application with Bluetooth to unlock the car, something like that. Okay, let's go with simple car. When you press the remote, in the past, when you press the remote, it would send some kind of radio frequency to the car. And once the car memorized the frequencies, it would unlock, just like that. But, oh, but this is bad things. Why? Because technically speaking, it's just a radio frequency. So if somebody with knowledge of the RF, the radio frequency, set up small antenna, and when you place the remote, just capture everything. So we can just replay the radio frequency to unlock the car. Right? So the scenario is like this. You lock your car or you unlock your car. I set up small antenna to record the radio frequencies. Now you lock your car and you walk away. I can just replay the frequency and get into your car. That's the bad idea, right? So modern car is like this. When you press the remote, it sends something to your car. Your car would generate a random number, send it back. You have to calculate something, or your remote have to calculate something. Some kind of function, and you have to send it back to the car. So what does it mean? It means that every time that you press the remote, it won't be the same. Right? First time you place, the car may send number 1. Second time you place, the car may send number 5. Next time you place it, some kind of random number, 25, for example. And you do that calculation and send it back, so it changes every time. Nothing is the same. So now, bad guys set up small antenna, try to capture the radio frequency, would get nothing. Because it wouldn't work the next time that we replay the same radio frequency. So we call this kind of authentication, we call it challenge and response, and we call that kind of attack that replay the frequency things or replay the message, we call it a replay attack. So challenge and response go with replay attack. Solution against the replay attack. Got my point? Okay, let me quickly give you another example. Let's say I get to the, let's say that if I want to get to my office, I have to press a button and say my name. Well, my name is Krerk. Okay, that's my name. But of course, for foreigner, it's difficult to pronounce. So let's say you want to get to my office, but you cannot say my name in the same way that I say it, Krerk, for example. What would you do? You would come to me with recorders and say, Professor, can you say your name? And you just record my voice. Great, like that. Now you walk to my office and play my voice. Well, that's replay attack, one example of replay attack. So to prevent against this, I have to change to challenge and response. Right. So every time I have to say a word, I would say different word. That means even though you record my name, it means nothing. Because I would have to say something differently when I want to get to my office the next time. That's challenge response. And you may not know, but the way that you scan QR code for the class attendance, that also challenge response because every time the QR changes. We are security class, right? We are in security class, so I do something secure to check your attendance. Okay. All right, this is replay attach. And now we have this thing we call, what do you have? Well, what do you have is can be anything like property, like you may born with a birthmark, and I say only you have this kind of birthmark. It can be your biometrics, fingerprint, or readiness or anything. Or can be document. Somebody create document for you, official document. For us, we have student ID. So next time you want to authenticate, maybe we use student ID, put it in, and then do face recognition, for example. So we use something that only you have it to identify yourself. So I call it, in general, I call it, what do we have? What do you have? It's like that. Okay, so first idea, we authenticate with something that only you know. Second idea, we authenticate with something that only you have. It can be your fingerprint, it can be, I don't know, anything, your ID. And next, we can authenticate with something that we both trust. For example, to get to my class DD system, I didn't authenticate you directly. I say, go to the Chula SSO service. Identify yourself with the Chula SSO service. Once you identify yourself with Chula SSO will tell me this is you. And I trust Chula SSO. Like that. So you identify yourself with somebody. I ask that somebody, who are you? Who is this person? That somebody say it's you. And I use that in my system. Okay, I trust that. So it's something you trust. So technically speaking, we got these three methods, three big categories of methods for authentication. But the detail can differ from one thing to another, right? Password can be challenge response, or it can be one-time password, or it can be pre-arranged question, or combinations of anything. But or what do you have? It can be ID, seal, whatever. Oh, a little bit about this. Well, in some country, they do not trust your signatures. In case you don't know, they do not trust your signature. One example is Japan. If you go to Japan and you say you want to buy a house or rent an apartment or whatever things that you want to do, legal things that you want to do in Japan, they don't trust signatures. You have to go to your local office, district office, something like that, and register a seal. The Japanese call it hango, meaning characters, seal. So everybody would got these character seals, and if you want to rent a house, buy an apartment, whatever, you have to stamp your seal like that. In Thailand, we used to use seal from time to time in the past, like if it is a company, rather than just put signatures of the CEO, we also need seal of the company, something like that. That's one example. Anyway, that's an example of something that only you have. Okay, but the point is, we sometimes combine them together, and I call it protocol. For example, you may have to first use the username and password, and then put in your ID card. Or you may have heard of the word multi-factor authentication. Not just username and password, just prove that you also got a device. So they send you some PIN number to your device, and you have to put that PIN number in. One example of multi-factor authentication. That's protocol. In my term, we call it protocol. Or the money machine, we use two things, right? The card and your PIN number. So it's what you have and what you know, two things. So I call it protocol, combinations of several methods put together to identify who are you. All right? Okay, let me give you an example of a protocol. We got one well-known protocol, like it zero knowledge password proof, CKPP for short. Well, one way to explain this CKPP is using these pictures. Ever heard of, have you ever seen a game like this before? See this game before? As a kid? Maybe. Anyway, in United States, they call this game Race Waldo. And I happen to know that in French, they call it Race Volley for some reason. And I used to have student exchange from Germany, and they call it Race Volley. So I don't know anyway. But the game is like this. They would give you a pictures. And what you have to do is find this guy in the pictures. Have you heard of it? Okay. This is how it works. For zero knowledge password proof, we both share a picture. To make it simple, let's put the grid on it, like a spreadsheet. A, B, C, D, E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And we say, okay, let's turn to these pictures. You have a copy of it, I have a copy of it. Now, the password is, let's find this person. Let's say the person is here, for example. So you would answer me with C5, which is the cell that this person is in, for example. So when we say something about password, nobody knows what is the password. We would say C5, and next time we change to another picture, it can be A1 or something like that. So whenever we change the pictures, the password or the thing that we share would change all the time. But we both know that we share the same secret. This is how it works. All right. That's very swallow or very swally, depends on how you call it. Let me give you another example. Okay. Let's say we got this little pink girl here in the pictures. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got this pink girl in the pictures, and somehow this girl got a key to the end of the tunnel. So that means if this girl moved in from direction B, we can ask her to unlock the gate and get out in another direction like that. So let's say I want to prove that this little girl got the key to the end of the tunnel like that. Okay. I want to prove that this little girl got a key to the end of the tunnel, but I don't want her to show me the key. If she showed me the key, everybody would see it. So prove that she got the key without showing it. How? So I turn back and say, hey, little girl, walk in. You can either walk into A or B, I don't care. Just walk in. Once you walk in, I say, why don't you come out at B? If she went in at A, she have to unlock the gate, come out at B. All right. If she walk in at B, she just walk back like that. What if I repeat this maybe 20 times and she always come out at the direction that I want? Can we say that she got the key without seeing it? Anyway, this is another example of zero knowledge password proof. All right. There's several ways to do the zero knowledge password proof, but the idea is we both share something and use that something to say the password, say the knowledge that we know. Well, this kind of mechanism is somehow embedded in the way that your system exchange the password today. They share something and use the medium to say the secret. Variation of it, anyway. Okay. Anyway, this protocol. In my case, I once have to use one supercomputer in United States when I was there. So I have to secure shell in, and they give me this device. Basically, I have to punch in the number, and it will generate a one-time password for me to put in the system and eventually get to the supercomputer. There's combinations of things. So nowadays we don't have single authentication that say it all. Usually we use combinations of things. Like you log in, I send you an email with a code. You get the code from your email to type it in again to get in. That's another example. All right. So let me move on to the password security a little bit. And I want to show you this video. That's why I'm loading some things here. Okay. So let's take a look at this video and I will summarize something for you and that would prepare you for some activities that we will discuss about. Okay, let me switch my machine real quick so that you can see it. This video is quite old, but it's captured the idea of password security. So every time I take a look at it and I say, if I need a new materials, I say it's still good. So that's why I still use it anyway. So let me quickly switch this. So,
Welcome, I'm Scott. When an attacker goes to use a password he's captured, first he must decrypt it. In today's session you'll see how he does it and learn why it's so important to create strong passwords. To decrypt passwords, attackers choose from many different tools known as password crackers. Some are expensive commercial programs, some are free for anyone to download from the internet, and people do by the thousands. In this demonstration, I used LoftCrack 5, a commercial password cracker. LoftCrack was designed specifically to extract passwords from encrypted files. If you're an attacker, typically you would sneak onto a network, locate the encrypted password file, and then send a copy of it to yourself so you can crack it at your convenience. But LoftCrack can also be used like a wiretap. You could place it surreptitiously on a network and capture encrypted passwords traveling across the network as users log in. However you got them, once you have encrypted passwords, LoftCrack can launch a whole arsenal of automated attacks to decrypt them. For example, it performs a dictionary attack in many languages, such as German, Spanish, French, or English. LoftCrack also performs a dictionary hybrid attack. Computer users who know about dictionary attacks will garble their passwords so that it is not a dictionary word. For example, if your password contains the word action, you might spell it ACT10N. But Krerk can check for that too. If needed, Krerk can resort to brute force. Brute force means calculating every possible password and trying each one. It's considered the last resort because performing all those calculations is slower. But slow is a relative term. Let me explain. To encrypt your password, Windows performs a mathematical formula on it called a one-way hash. A hash is a number generated from a string of text. It's easy to go from the text to the hash, but should be impossible to look at the hash and figure out the text. That's the one-way part. But the Windows hash formula is widely known, so a password cracker can take a list of words, hash each one, and see if the result matches any of the hashed words in the encrypted file. Even a boring old Pentium 2 PC can calculate and compare hashes at a rate of almost 1,000,000 tries per second. A Pentium 4 machine can check almost 5,000,000 per second. So, if a stock PC can calculate and try millions of possible passwords per second, why do I say brute force is slow? Because a password with only 10 characters has more than 1 sextillion possible character combinations. Even burning through combinations at a rate of 5,000,000 per second, it would take around 7.5 million years for a Pentium 4 computer to try all possible combinations. And for each character you add to the password, the number of possible combinations increases exponentially. People who have calculated all the possible hashes for shorter passwords have saved the results for others to use. We refer to this as a rainbow table. By using a rainbow table, a computer gets to perform matches instead of calculations. This goes much faster, and that's why we say brute force is slow. But brute force is guaranteed effective if the attacker has enough time. Now that I've introduced you to basic password cracking concepts, let's test Krerk against a representative password file you might find on a Windows Active Directory server. Our test tries to track about 25 or 30 accounts. We used passwords ranging from pathetically simple to very strong. Which ones are weak and which are the strong ones? Magic Krerk shall reveal them all. Here's what Krerk looks like. I've pointed it at the file on my test machine containing the sample passwords. I'm going to start it, then leave it on the screen for 30 seconds so you can see what it does in real time. Here goes. In this right column, you can glimpse how fast Krerk is working. It has already cracked 3 weak passwords: golf, password, and superintendent. No matter how long the word is, if it's straight from the dictionary, Krerk's gonna get it. Let's jump ahead. 5 minutes later, Krerk has cracked more passwords. CTO is not in the dictionary, but it's so short it was easy to brute force. Same for HIPAA. Krerk's default dictionary is small and contains the word opportune, but not the word opportunity. That's the only reason it took a few minutes to break this word. After 1 day of running continuously, my cracker has broken 2 more passwords, Menudo and 546321. This illustrates that almost any short password is a weak password. Although it took Krerk a week to break some of the harder passwords, that's not that long. Consider how many months you use the same password. That provides more than enough time for a crook to run his tools. After 1 week of running continuously, Krerk had calculated many of our passwords. Impressed with Krerk's speed and strength? Well, we were not even using its strongest settings. We used a very short English dictionary that's Krerk's default, where a real attacker would use a much longer dictionary. And we didn't even use rainbow tables. A real attack would have broken these passwords much more ferociously. Let's look at the passwords that Krerk did not break and see what we can learn about strong passwords. Obviously, Longer passwords are stronger. But how long is long enough? How many characters does a password need in order to realistically slow down an attacker? The answer might surprise you. Due to a quirk in the way most versions of Windows store passwords, a 14-character password can look to a cracker like two 7-character passwords. Because of exponential math, a 14-character password should be very strong, but this quirk in Windows greatly weakens it. The bottom line? We recommend you use 15 characters or more in your password. Instead of thinking password, it's better to think passphrase. But how do you think up a long, crack-resistant password? And more to the point, once you think it up, how do you even remember it? Your presenter is about to show you a method for creating strong passwords that you'll find surprisingly easy and maybe even a little bit fun. No password is totally unbreakable, but if it takes an attacker more than a week to crack your password, odds are he'll give up and move to an easier target. So now you know why strong passphrases matter. Thanks for watching.
ขอโทษนะครับอาจารย์ลืมเปิดไมค์ในซูมครับ
ได้ยินยัง
ได้ยินแล้วครับ
โอเคครับโทษทีครับ so we know which one is good, which one is bad. So let me skip this for the moment and come back to this. Okay, in the video we see dictionary attacks. So what is dictionary attacks? Again, let's say your password is ABC. We learned that we should not store ABC in the database. That's the bad idea, because if somebody can get into the database, they got your password. So what they do is that they apply a hash function, which is a one-way function, right? And you would get something that totally different, the hash sum, the hash value. So technically speaking, when we see the hash function, there is no way to know that your password is ABC. So if we want to know what is the password, what we do is that we use the dictionary, and for every word in the dictionary, we apply a hash function until we find a match. That's the only way to get to the original password. So let's say I hack a database. I got all hash value of password. I got hash value of everybody password on the campus, for example. And I want to know what is your password. I would see all the hash value and I have to try until I find out, oh, this value hash and get the same value. Right? Because this is one-way function. So if you use the dictionary and you burn the dictionary until you get a match, we call it dictionary attacks. But if you burn through all possibilities, use string generation, start with zeros, 1, 2, 3, and then you start what? A0, A1, A2, A3. You burn through all possibilities. We call it brute force. Technically speaking, we have about, if my memory serves, 96 characters on the keyboard that you can type, include punctuations, symbols, whatever. So we burn through our possibilities. But if you have 8-character password, wow, 96 to the 8, big number. So to burn through them all, it takes years. The video clip show you that with all machine, it can take what, million years. So every character that you add, that means add to your password, like some password, most of my password got about 16 characters, and my wife say, "Are you crazy?" Like that. And I say, "Well, that's the way that I secure my account." But for each character you add, it goes exponentially. So that's big number. Okay, we learned about the replay attack I showed you earlier in the lecture before the video. So we know the replay attack. Let's try this rainbow table. So what is rainbow table? Okay. Let me explain rainbow table. Maybe, okay, this slide got rainbow table. Let's say your password is, the hash value of your password is XYZ. XYZ, that's the hash value. I don't know the original. So what I do, I have to try, right? But wait, now I got free time. I got free processing powers. Let's say I happen to be an owner of botnet. I got 1,000 machines in my hand, and they are free. So what I can do is that I generate all possible string of password, apply a hash, and then I store key value in a database like this. So this database is, if I got a hash, I know what is the original text. We call this rainbow table. So what does it mean? It means if I hack a database and I got XYZ, I just look for XYZ and got the original password directly without do the computations because I already pre-compute all the possibilities. I change from I change from the compute to the lookup because it's pre-compute stored in a table. All right, so the hacker would get free rainbow table. I hack a database with a hash value. I look at the rainbow table and get the password right away because somebody already computed for me. All right, and well, you can just look for rainbow table. can download it for free. Well, I think the university network blocked it, but you can try it on your home network anyway. You can download Rainbow Table. Okay. Okay, never mind. The university network blocked it. But we got Rainbow Table that you can download for free. And they got all kind of algorithms of hash functions. Just get it. Just like that. Okay. Let me show you this. Well, in the past, Google also indexed the Rainbow Table for you. That means you can just put the hash number into Google and you get the original value from Google. But Google aware that, oh, the hacker used this as a tool to search the Rainbow Table, so they took it out. But it can be something like this. Okay, let me quickly give you a quick demonstration on my machine. Okay, this is a shell on my machine. Okay, all right. So it's like this. When you have a hash function, let's try MD5, which is pretty old. Okay, let's say the word is securities, and you want to find the hash value. So I just apply MD5 sum like this. This is the hash value of the word securities. So in the past, you just go to Google, put it in, you will get the word securities. But nowadays, Google say, oh no, this is the hash value, so we no longer do that. But some search engine still support it. And you easily find that. Okay, never mind. They changed it. But this is a hash value that we use nowadays and store it in the database. So if you got Rainbow Table, just take this value, put it in the Rainbow Table, you get the original word. Even though there are several algorithms, like we also got this SHA-1, some another hash algorithms. Rainbow Table got all kinds of algorithms known to the world, and they do all the computations for you. You can download it for free, but of course it takes several terabytes. You might need large storage for that. But it changed from burning through the combination to just look up and answer. And bad guy do that. Okay, get back to my slide. Okay, you can play with it, and that's actually our activity for today. We will try to mimic some kinds of hacking here. Okay, we did not cover this topic in the slide, but in reality, there are several things to think about when you implement the password security system. Like what is the cost of the password, human factors, how accurate is it, single sign-on, centralized distributed database, and so on. So we did not talk about it today. Anyway, you got the idea. This is how the password system is being used today. They store the hash value in the database. To get the original one, we have to burn through it or use the rainbow table. This is classic password hack, like that. Okay, so let's see the activities, what I want you to do today. So for today, I got this activity for you. This is the common list of passwords that you can just download. They keep updating it every year. So this year you would got a new version anyway. This is the 10,000 most common password that this guy make a list for you. Challenge number 1. I got a hash value for you. What I want you to do is that take that dictionary up there, burn through the dictionary until you find the hash value. Okay, until you get a match, basically find me the original value of this hash value. But keep in mind that you might have to do some substitution, like lowercase and uppercase. Right? Got my point? Like if you see A, you want to try capital A and lowercase a. Okay. Tell me what is the original word of this one. This is easy, and I got some Python code down here that would give you jump start. This is how you will do the hash with 2 algorithms, MD5 and SHA1. Take the dictionary, burn through it, also do substitution until you find the original value, like that. Exercise number 2. We got dictionary. From that dictionary, this is the dictionary up here, the 10K most common. From the dictionary, what if you have to create a rainbow table? How long does it take to create the rainbow table? And what is the size of rainbow table? So give me the code that you use to create the rainbow table. And the size, don't send me the rainbow table, I don't need it. I can do that myself. Just give me the code. How would you create the rainbow table? All right. So from the code in question number 2 that you use for creating a rainbow table, I want you to answer me question number 3. Find the average time that you use to make a hash, just one hash. Just one hash, that's question number 3. From 10K words, this is how long does it take? So on average, one hash would take about these seconds. 5 seconds, 5 milliseconds, whatever. So your answer would based on your computer. And your friend answer would different because you use different machine. It would be different performance, different time. All right. Then question number 4 is like this. If a hacker got a password and hacker have to do brute force, meaning the password is not in the dictionary, we have to do brute force. How long would it take to do the brute force? And for this question number 4, the hint to the answer is here. This one. Okay. Let's say your password is in character long. In case the number of possible characters, you have to find one anyway. C is a constant term, which according to the exercise you got from question number 3. So I want to know how long does it take to get the brute force. So it would be like this, K to the N divided by C, something like that. And you will get the number seconds. So this is hint to exercise number 4. So number 4, you find the equations. Right? Number 5, you tell me that if we use this kind of security in our password system, what should be the proper length of your password? Meaning short password would break faster. Longer password would take more time to do the brute force. Right? So for number 5, I would say, what would be the size or what would be the length of password if, according to your machine, it would take at least 1 year to break it? Well, it depends on the speed of your machine, but you would see at least 6 character longs. On nowadays, it can be 8 or 10 character longs because your machine tends to be faster over time. But I want to see the number from your machine. Based on the performance that we get from your machine from question number 2 and number 3, tell me in number 5, what is the size of password that would take at least 1 year to do the brute force attack? All right? Yes? Oh, you got about 1 week.
So I'm still confused about the difference between the dictionary attack and the rainbow.
Dictionary attack, you use the dictionary and you try it one by one until you find the answer. The rainbow attack, you compute everything from the dictionary and save it. When you got the hash value, you just search the table. So it changed from computational time to lookup because you pre-compute like that.
So dictionary attack is just like you have sorted all the passwords, but you have to pick one of them.
You have to pick it one by one and try which one will get a match. Rainbow table, you pre-compute all the possibility. When you got the hash value, you just look up in the table. All right. And last question number 6. Exercise number 6. Well, number 6 is we got something that we call salt. A salt. Well, technically, it's the same word that you use, the salt that you put in your food, make it salty. But we put salt into hash function so that it would not be in a dictionary. So my question is, what is salt? So you have to do a little research and explain what is salt. So this is the first exercise, first activity, actually. 6 exercise. All right, any question about these activities? Or you need a little more hint? How to submit it? Okay. You will go to class DD and you would see a link say assignment submissions. So put in your submission. Everything put it in one PDF files, just one PDF files. I don't need a rainbow table. Just put me the code and give me the analysis.
นะครับคือที่ผมอ่าน
Yeah.
we have to create rainbow table
From the dictionary that I gave you, the one that you download after.
all this right
Oh, yes.
and also include the substitution
Include the substitution, yes.
for each
Yes. So it would be big rainbow table. So that's why I said, don't send me the rainbow table. I don't need the table.
now how do we know about the substitution that we have covered
Just for this exercise, these 3 substitutions that I provided, that should be enough. Just for this exercise, okay. But in real attack, it would be more. We good? Okay. Put it in PDF files. You got 1 week to submit. 1 week means like we have a class on Thursday morning, right? So you can submit your assignment until Wednesday, the midnight of Wednesday. Okay. And after that, you have about 1 week to review the assignment of your friends. So you have to grade 3 persons to get your grade as well. Again, in the system, it would be a link for you to do the grading. I tell you next week. If you cannot find it, I show it to you next week. All right. To get credit, to get grades from your assignment, you do the assignment, submit it on time. Then after that, there will be a period about 1 week that you have to grade at least 3 persons. So you also have to review your friends' code. In a sense, make sure that your PDF, your document is good enough so that your friend understands what you are trying to say. All right. Any question? Are you all hungry? Well, not bad. We're in time. Okay, if you have no more questions, so I would stop it here. And you can do assignment on your own if you want. Should you have any problem with the assignment, send me a message. I can answer it for you. ทางบ้านมีถามอะไรป่ะครับเมื่อกี้ได้ยินมาว่า Hello. Take that as no.
just for a question
Yeah.
for the number 1 question that for the int so we just have to base on the Chulalongkorn string and then we try to do substitution to
No. The password is the original word is in the dictionary. I just give you sample code that would help you with the hash.
actually we have to do the rainbow table first right
For number 1, you can just do the dictionary attack directly. Or you can do rainbow table and get the result for number 1. That also works. Yeah. Either way. Yeah, technically speaking, it's just a for loop with substitution. And I find that the hard part for you is the substitution. I don't know why. But every time that we try to do this activity in class, we have trouble with the substitution, which I think is easy, but okay, it might be a little difficult for you.
so for the performance depends on our code
It depends on your code.
Yeah.
All right. So again, analysis everything about the analysis in this exercise based on your code and your machine. So I don't care whether you implement bad code, poor code, and slow, okay, never mind. Just want the analysis part. Real attack hacker would use something like C, C++ to make it faster. Okay, any more questions? Okay, I stop in here. I post the video later today because I have another class in the afternoon, or maybe in the evening you see the video. All right, So I see you next week. Don't forget to submit the assignment. Thank you for the day. Enjoy.
Check for me.
เดี๋ยวเปิดให้แป๊บนึงปิดนี่ก่อน
Kita akan lebih dekat, ini. Kita akan lebih dekat.